Hey family, it's Renee. Are you guys looking to learn firearm safety or do you want to just get in shape with you and 9 of your friends? If so, make sure you get it from BodyBioTactical.com. Let him and his team get you into fighting shape. Not only is it affordable, he comes to you. Again, that is BodyBioTactical.com. Attention everybody in the Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana area. Socialite Artistry Chicago is your leader in all things makeup for men, women, and children. Their services range from face painting and henna for corporate parties to bridal and prom makeup. They offer an array of custom services tailored to your specific event needs. Owner and lead artist Allie Noble has an artist background and continues to bring that into every arena she enters. Make sure you guys give them a like on Facebook and also on Instagram at Socialite Artistry. That's at SOCHYLITE Artistry CHI. Or you can also give her a call at 773-988-2830. Make sure you guys hit them up.
Good evening, us tribe. We are back in the building for another episode. Man, this is your girl Dre.
And Renee.
And Nay's in the building too. And she just reminded me, this is episode 8. Y'all, like, major shout out to everyone that's been listening, sharing, subscribing to the podcast. I'm still shocked that we are on episode 8.
All right, well, what is episode 8? Let's get to it.
Oh, we're gonna get. Oh, look, they got some. She got some things for y'all. So, episode 8, man, we're gonna be talking about the commercialization of blackness, cause we love our blackness. I know, myself and they, we love our blackness, and some of y'all be trying to commercialize it. So we're gonna get into it. So what's up? What's going on with this commercialized blackness with y'all homegirl? They out here with the Homecoming Netflix series. I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it either, but like, what is woke?
Stay woke. As our boy Childish Gambino.
Coonish Gambino? Okay.
Yes, because we have to call him that. So, okay, so are we talking about woke from like our own individual standpoint? Or are we talking about commercialized woke? Or are we gonna talk about all of that? Because I think we should like cover all bases.
Let's talk about all of it.
Okay, so for me, I feel like I've always been woke because having parents from the South that migrated to, New England, blackness was always knew I was black, right? I always knew that, I had Southern roots. I always knew that, my consciousness was always being raised in my household, especially growing up in the neighborhood that I grew up in. So when I used to like talk that black on black stuff in high school, like some of the people be like, damn, Andrew, you need to chill on that black stuff. Even like people who was black and parents was from the South, they really was not on that tip. But now all of a sudden we got I'm woke because I done read 3 books on black consciousness, or they done watch 3 videos of like Dr. Umar. Then all of a sudden they an elder, right? Because
Right.
they think they got their eldership. I'm an elder because I watched 3 YouTube University black conscious videos, and I'm looking at these same people like I was speaking on this stuff, but it wasn't like, okay, is it black consciousness? It was just like, hey, I'm woke, I know about my blackness, I'm not running from blackness because I know that I'm gonna have to, be reminded. So that's what woke means to me. Now it's just everyone is woke, but I always say this and people get mad at me. I said, what do we go beyond woke? Now we woke, what do we go beyond that? Are you doing the work? Are you, helping your community? Where do we go beyond woke? So that's my story on being woke. So what's your story?
Well, I really had to sit down and think about this. To me, woke is the ability to see through the veil. The veil is white supremacist propaganda. And when you're quote unquote, I'm doing the air quotes here. You guys can't see it, but I'm doing it. And when being woke is the ability to articulate different ways of white supremacy and being able to point it out, because all white supremacy is propaganda. All it is mind altering propaganda. And when you're quote unquote woke, I believe that you're able to see it for what it is.
Right. I like that. I like that point. That's a good point. And you know what? I had my yesterday. I had a woke moment, right? Because
Yeah.
I'm a big sports fan. We're gonna talk about some sports episodes too. So I'm watching the draft yesterday, and this guy by the name of Jeffrey Simmons, he's from Mississippi, and he, had this quote. They always like to say, of course, he's an African American, he's black. Oh, he had this troublesome past. Okay, he had one incident in which his mama and them was fighting some chick, and like he pulled the chick off. Yes, he probably stole on her, which like he probably hit her like 2-3 times in the face. Meanwhile, y'all man Nick Boza said all type of racial slurs. Now, mind you, they showed the video of the dude. It was so graphic, and I was like, why are they gonna show this video to what? Because people love black pain, because that's pretty much porn.
Yeah.
As we talked about normalization of perversion. So they showed the whole video, and I'm like, damn, they really showing this video. Mind you, why they got Nick Boza with his racist self, because he got his daddy was in the NFL, his brother's in the NFL, something like that. He done said all type of racial slurs, homophobia, and now all of a sudden he was looking all innocent, and I'm like, yo, that's like, I said, if y'all not woke and can't see that, then I don't know what to say. Y'all are on this whole commercialized blackness and wokeness. So I just have to throw in my woke moment for the week, and I was like, I'm not feeling this, but yeah, that's something I have to say.
My thing with the whole Nick Bosa situation is where is the outcry that the gridiron is not the place for politics?
Right.
Because when Kaepernick was doing his protest before he got blackballed, because that's what it was, he was blackballed. Everybody, this is not the place for politics. Oh my God, Colin. How could he do this?
Right.
But you got this white cracker boy, looked like he done ate corn his whole life, and he's up here supporting Donald Trump, saying racist things, saying homophobic things, just anything that should not be said publicly. He's saying it.
Yeah.
And he's championed, and I think it's ironic that he's drafted by San Francisco, because I don't believe in I do not believe in coincidences. I think that was a quote unquote gift to the fans.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. It was a gift to the fans. And that's going beyond woke and seeing white supremacy for what it is. And I think a lot of times to we don't want to think that what we see is real. So we're like, oh, well, no, it's not a coincidence. He just happened to get drafted there. Like, really? Really? But yeah, that was just, I have to say that tidbit of, since everyone wants to be woke. Okay, where do we go from here with the woke man? Because we can go on and on for days about woke. Even like, wasn't Essence or Ebony did a article or like a whole like front page of like who like I'm woke, and it was like all these black women, and I felt like majority of them shouldn't have been on there, because I'm like, y'all ain't woke. This is a whole commercialized woke of like quote unquote black women, and also a lot of them on the cover bash other black women who happen to be Black American, foundational, ADOS, whatever you want to identify with. And I'm like, none of y'all should be on here, because it was just this whole commercial. Who's hot in the streets? Who's woke in the streets? Who's woke in Twitter world? And I had a big problem with whatever news publication that either Ebony or Essence did it. And they had these T-shirts and look at us, we're so ill. And then I'm looking at some of them like, are you even black? You Afro-Latina? Which is another conversation we can have. So had to throw that in there too.
Just to piggyback on that whole Afro-Latina thing, I want to encourage all of our listeners to be weary of the slash blacks.
Mm.
And when I say the slash black, I mean the Hispanic in black, the white in black, and so on. Because it doesn't matter if you have visibly melanated features, you are a nigger in the eyes of white supremacy.
Mhm.
So, you can't, pour a little milk in the coffee and think you're going to get the same effect.
Right. Right. And also too in the United States, if you have 1% of black blood, we didn't make these rules up. You're considered black.
That's very true.
And I think a lot of times people try to run away from it, when that, topic comes up and people like, well, I'm just 1%. No, in the eyes of United States of America, you are black.
Yeah, that's true. However, you can operate as white, but that's another
Mm-hmm. That's
that's
another
another
show.
that's another show.
Another show. So yeah, so y'all became woke. A lot of times too, when we have like this commercialized of blackness, y'all become woke and then y'all get rocked back to sleep.
Mhm.
And I just think last week going into this week, it was like, oh yeah, Bay came out with this homecoming. I remember being at one of my schools yesterday. Everybody's watching that. I guess the bounce version of Before I Let Go. And, people just having a good time. But black folks was getting mollywopped this week in the news. If you guys watch the news this week, and then it's like we get rocked to sleep. Then it's like, well, Beyonce and Jay-Z is going to have this HBCU tour. Then everyone's like, yes, I'm woke. I'm going to send my kid to HBCU. But these are the same folks who's going to send their kid to University of Alabama.
It's funny because it's true.
Right. And then everyone's like, yes, and oh my God, I'm sending my kid on this tour. But she was the same one on Twitter talking about, I'm not foundational Black American. I'm not ADOS. I don't like to be, identified as black. Everyone wants to, I'm indigenous. And then you ask what tribe, I'm Cherokee. There's so many other tribes out here, child.
That's true.
But we'll talk about that on another show. But we have to like stop. So that's why I said going beyond woke. Yes, y'all favorite artists, and we're gonna talk about artists. Are they woke or not? Yes, your favorite artists may come up with this documentary, but guess what? Netflix is what? Isn't it like owned by white folks? Of course.
White
And
people in Colorado.
exactly. Then they talking about, well, Beyonce sold her rights to get $100 million. So I seen something floating around like Ariana Grande got more money than Beyonce, but not really. And I'm like, y'all, let's stop counting the pockets of these black celebrities because let's talk about it. They're not giving you a dime of their money. You're paying 200, 400, 500, 600, even up to like $1,000 to go see these celebrities. They're
Yeah.
only getting their friends out of jail because they're like, well, they do so much. Okay, what are they doing for like the common folk every day that's trying to, make it, working 3 jobs, living Section 8? What are they doing for those people? And y'all, me and Jay-Z are always talking about, oh, I sold out of Marcy, whatever. What have they done besides gentrified? Because they have gentrified that part of Brooklyn to bring in the Brooklyn Nets. But y'all keep supporting these folks. And y'all keep saying, well, I'm black today. I'm black for this week until something happens.
That's true. Let's talk about this whole celebrities being quote unquote woke. Are they actually trying to uplift the people to expand their black consciousness, or are they just trying to make money off of this?
I think some of them who you don't see in mainstream, I
Mhm.
think a lot of them are actually doing it for the people. For instance, I'm gonna say David Banner.
Okay.
I actually have been following David Banner for a while. He's from Mississippi. He actually went to HBCU, Southern University, was SGA. And yes, his music can be controversial, right? Because, he's talking about, know a chick got Tougaloo, she stripped, whatever the case is. But if you
Yeah.
listen to what he be saying, Duke be saying some real stuff. And I actually went to one of his lectures when I was living back in New England. I was like, yo, I think he's like really doing the thing. But sometimes too, he can be like, well, my white friend said, and I'm like, hold on, bruh. Hold on. Who's his white friend? He's my mentor, and he said this. And sometimes he go down this little lane. I'm like, okay, is from your quote unquote white friend, what are you getting from them? Are you getting some type of funding from them so you can like rebuild parts of Mississippi you're from?
Mhm.
Like, where are we going with this? Because if you're just talking about my white friend and because you think it looks cool because you have Chad as your friend, then I'm gonna side eye you. So, that's how I feel about David Bannon. Like I said, I think he's dope. He went to HBCU. I don't think he's a tool for white supremacy. I just think that, dude's just going through a transition and he's really trying to figure out. I don't think he's commercializing blackness. I just think that he's really doing the work. And, but he just, that whole white friend thing kind of was like, come on, bro.
My thing about the whole white friend thing is that if you're a black person and you're having white friends, again, I'm doing my air quotes, if you're having white friends and they're not telling you what white people talk about when there's no black people around, those aren't your friends.
Facts.
Um, and I think that should be like a litmus test. Like, if you want to be cool with this white person, you should always get them to tell you, well, what do white people talk about when there's no black people around?
Yes. I agree. I totally agree. And I think a lot of time, because it was a study that came out, was asking white folks how many black friends they had, and literally, um, none of them had no black friends. Literally, they didn't even live around any black people. But we always like to be like, my friend Chad and Becky, they're my friends.
Mhm.
And then you're kind of like, okay, what conversations do you all have? Like you said, do you have them like difficult conversations about race? And how are they going to transfer their wealth to you?
Yeah. And what we don't understand as a people is that a transaction is not always financial.
Right.
They can transfer some knowledge about how to get around dealing with white people to you. Because can't nobody deceive better than white people.
Mm, facts. And like I told Nate last week, I did a piano. I'm gonna do like full disclosure. The piano, I was like, okay, I'm too woke for this piano, right? And my homegirl's like, I want you to do this piano. So I was like, okay, I'm too woke for this piano. You sure you want me to come? And she's like, yeah. I was like, you know what I be talking about? Yeah, child. I think like everybody clutched their pearls because I had told this girl, yes, she was like 13 years my junior. I was like, what? Because she's like, in 2008, I was in the eighth grade. I'm my child. I was a whole grown woman in grad school. But okay. All right, you're going to tell me something. What you going to tell me? And I think we should be friends with white people because we need to learn from them. What did I tell you? We need to learn from white culture and white history.
Uh,
And like all of the blackness just came out, and I think the girl just stopped talking to me after I like ran down like some books she need to read and the audience need to read. And mind you, we have two white women in the audience. They're writing down the books too, like, oh my God, I'm writing this book down. And people like, and so like the moderator was like, well, Dre, is that all you do is read? Because you gave us so many books, like I'm gonna have to like email the audience. Yes. And I said, well, why do we need to? I was like, how come? I was like, I have a question. How come white people don't seek our friendship? It's always want to be, can you entertain me? Can I sleep with you? And what you always say, and have gutter sex or slave sex.
mhm.
There's nothing like it's a surface level type of friendship. And I don't have time for that. I don't have time to educate you because You done stole my ancestors. You should have 400 plus years of education. This is not my job to educate you or to make you woke and, whatever the case is. And the chick was really offended. The black chick was very offended by what I said.
Of
And she's like,
course
I
she
just
was.
started wearing my hair out. I just started being natural a year ago. Now, if you wear a weave, whatever the case is, that's on you. That's cool. I wear extensions or whatever the case is, like my hair braided for protective styles. But I'm not doing it for my job. And see, she's a news reporter. She's like, listen to this, y'all. This is not woke. I had to wear wigs to protect my job. If I had to alter who I am for my job, you might as well just not hire me because I'm not going to be altering who I am just to get some money. Then she
Just,
was kind of, go ahead.
she's just trying to get offered some gutter sex from White Zaddy.
Right. So, so like I said, like I had told my friend, I said, I told you I was gonna be unapologetically black, and a lot of us are not that. A lot of us would have been like, yes, we do need to get white friends, and like, cause everybody on the panel agreed, and I said no, and like people was like, oh my god. So to me, that's being woke and being authentically black and being unapologetically black. Like no, and then she's like, well, black people, everybody should be democratic. I don't understand why black people are Republican. I'm like, do you know Martin Luther King was Republican? She didn't even know that. Oh
Yeah,
my
but because I passed seventh grade social studies, I also know that they switch platforms. So
Right. So, like when we're having this conversation of being woke, it's a lot of times we have to also to go beyond just saying I'm woke because there's so many people that's actually dead physically, emotionally, spiritually, and us having this podcast, it goes over a lot of people's heads because a lot of people they think we're not talking about we're gonna beat our face and girl, what's the next club you going to? Like, we're not talking about gossip. Like, we're being honest. So that's why, we intertwine what we do. So just had to share that story.
um, that's crazy to me. Like, I really don't understand how black people are still actively seeking out white people for friendship, quote unquote. Um, anyway, that that just went over. That didn't go over well with me. But when it comes to Jay-Z and Beyonce, because whenever Beyonce does, the world follows. So, if Beyonce was supporting Trump, would we have a bunch of black Trump supporters?
I think so.
Because I don't know, people like seriously sit up here and worship her like she's some kind of goddess. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I think she got some kind of some witch ties.
Well, they do spirit cooking with that lady Maria something. She was in that Picasso baby video, and her. I don't know if you ever saw the video or the audience saw the video.
Hmm.
Jay-Z was like locking heads and like foreheads and like eyes with this woman. This the woman who like smears her period blood and do spells with it. Okay?
Mm.
She's the one that has like black bodies on the tables naked on every table and she do like rituals and spells. Check her out. Like her name is like Maria Kavarsky or something like that. She's always with celebrities. She's always with Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Is she supposed to be some kind of? You said her last name could be what? Zablavsky?
Kablas. It's like with a K. Let me
Is she somewhat like trying to base her teachings off of Madame Blavatsky, the Jewish woman who stole Moorish magic and gave it to white people?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
Big.
she's the one that did all this spirit cooking with okay, no, I'm sorry, Marina Abram Abramvic. Abramovic. She is the spirit cooker. You're gonna see who she's connected to. She's connected to Jay-Z and Beyonce, Kim Kardashian. She's connected to one of the former campaign managers of oh god, Hillary Rodham Clinton. And she does spirit cooking dinners.
Hmm.
So y'all need to look her up. And she was in the Picasso. She looks very weird. Let's talk about that. She looks very like pale, like a witch. and she like does this stuff with blood, like her own blood, or she get other people's blood, and she's like, hey, what do you need me to do? What do you need me to cook in order for you to win this election, or whatever the case is? And she does it. And when I saw her in Jay-Z's Picasso Baby video, I was like, this is why people are under the spell, the Beyonce spell, in my eyes, because they hang with this chick Marina.
I believe it because Beyonce, she's had rumors around her for years that her family's been involved with that New Orleans hoodoo magic.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really listen to her talk, like, she's telling on herself all the time if you know what you're looking for. Like, if you dabble any bit in the occult, you can pick up on it. And when I say occult, occult has nothing to do with the devil, okay?
Right.
Flat out, occult just means what is hidden, okay? So, occult has nothing to do with the devil, so it's like she's telling people without telling people what she's doing.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And I just think she has all these people under the spell. And like people, like, you cannot say anything against Beyonce or Jay-Z's child. These supposed to be ready to come to your crib and just kill you.
Yeah. I just I just don't know because it's like, I mean, Jay-Z, he's kind of been on the fence for me. Like, Reasonable Doubt. I went back and I listened to Reasonable Doubt a couple days ago, and he's always kind of been on that, want to say, kind of Black Power tip, and he's also affiliated with the 5%ers.
Mm-hmm.
No, excuse me, is it 5%ers or 7%ers?
5%ers.
Yeah, he's also affiliated with them. So I mean, maybe he is. I mean, the 5%ers, they're not bad people.
No. Mm-mm.
No, they're cool. I think that's kind of like the hood version of Islam.
Yeah, it is.
And if that was about, if that's how you can help the people, and that makes sense, your history makes sense to you through that channel, yeah, man, be a 5%er. But Beyonce, I don't know, man, because maybe I'm wrong because I don't keep up with pop culture much, and to me it just seemed like she became quote unquote woke overnight, kind of, after like Lemonade came out. That's when everybody started to want to, be a black witch. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, she has Oshun energy. Because she had on yellow. No, you have a creative director. Let's be honest.
Who's
It said,
researching stuff to go
right.
current wave.
Exactly. And I felt like Beyonce made this transition to quote unquote woke, commercializing blackness after Super Bowl when she came out with the Black Panther,
True.
the 50th anniversary. They had the fro, except for she didn't wear the fro. The dancers wear the fro
Yeah.
with the, and I was like, okay, why you don't have a fro on, but none of my business.
Right.
And
You gotta be
oh,
different.
she's woke. And then all of a sudden, here goes Tax Return Tour Part 1. I always call it the tour Tax Return Part 1. When she did Lemonade, I didn't even watch it. I didn't even listen to it. Because I was like, I knew this was gonna be commercialized, and then everyone's writing these think pieces and doing blogs and doing vlogs on them, and I'm like, y'all don't see this chick is like, okay, this is what's in. Colin Kaepernick, this when he like was kneeling, and here we go with being woke, and Obama is in office, Michelle's my homegirl, and then when Jay-Z said I got Obama on the text, then everyone's like, oh my God, they're woke. And it's like, because he said he got Obama on the text, and then we can go into Obama's policies forever and a day on another episode. And it's like now we got like blackness is in because we have the Negro whisperers. Then when Obama get out, then all y'all are like running from blackness because it's like, oh man, like my hope is gone because we had the first black family in there. Everybody was woke for 8 years, and now everybody got rocked to sleep. Like what happened?
And you're right. It's all like a mind game right now because bread and circuses, like Julius Caesar says, like if you give people something to look at, they're not gonna look at the fuckery that's around them.
Cause it's a lot. It's a lot that's going on. It's a lot, a mess that's going on. So, this was the time in which, people was like, I'm woke. And then, you had Jay-Z dropping 444, which,
Mhm.
he resonates on the 44 energy. And if you guys know anything, go look up 44 energy first and foremost. And if you ever notice, Jay-Z also had a song called, I think it was like 222s. So
Yeah.
they're big into fours. And we'll
Also,
do,
Rick
go ahead.
Ross. Rick Ross, when he first came out, what was the first album? Port of Miami. He
Yep.
had everybody screaming 222.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, okay.
Uh-huh. And see, everyone's like, "Oh my God, this is Jay-Z's wokest album because he's talking about 444." But a lot of I listened to 444. I did rock with some of the tracks, but a lot of it was kind of like elitist, black elitist, like talented temp mindset too. Cause he's like, oh, you can go buy an apartment building and go flip it for this, but Jay-Z, get that out of touch with reality with black folks. What, especially in New York, black
Yeah,
people can't even afford to even live in New York City. They're trying to tear down 6,000 housing apartments. Go to your Googles. They trying to do Cabrini Green. They tore down Cabrini Green in Chicago. They trying to do the
yeah,
same thing in New York. And I'm like, where these black folks gonna go? Because that's where they live at. Let's be honest. That's where we live. And but you over here talking about, oh, I flipped the apartment in Dumbo. We can't even set eyes in Dumbo. Like the real estate there is like a mil plus.
Jesus. And it's like you said, all this stuff that he's talking about doing, that's for the untalented 10th.
Yes, yes, exactly. It's only for like his people, like him, Diddy, and then when he said, well, it's better than 1 billionaire too. No, like what about the rest of your folks? Like they are pretty much Black Americans are holding on by a thread. I can't even say a thread. I don't even know what's even smaller than that. But you talking about being a billionaire, and then people like, oh, what's his new alcohol? He got Ace of Spade. Oh, he owned Ace of Spade. No, he's just an expensive brand ambassador.
Exactly. He might own 0.001%, but that's ownership to the eyes of non-financially educated black people.
Right.
He's
And see,
giving
like,
back the residuals or the dividends.
right. And then you have your man Diddy. All of a sudden, I'm woke too. What?
That homosexual, but that's another topic.
And I'm like, how are you woke? And now all of a sudden you want to talk about, oh, I went to Howard, and if it wasn't for my Howard connections, I wouldn't be who I am today, and da 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 da. And I'm like, really, Diddy, you woke now? And then he make these videos about it's black excellence. And see, let's talk about black excellence because I have a whole issue with that. Black excellence, and I always see this meme and I love it. It doesn't mean you have a passport, you
Hmm.
taking pictures with your homegirls and your homeboys, y'all flying all over the world, having degrees, because we have a lot of black failure. And government put black failure in our neighborhoods and also put us with the black failure. Okay?
Yeah.
And just because you take this Instagram photo, don't mean that your mattress is on the floor. Because you could have a whole ass house. Let's be honest, and girl, I'm flying here because I see folks do it on my timeline, and you coming back home to no furniture with your mattress on the floor. Yeah, you may be making $60,000, $70,000, but you still failing because you're helping this person, you're helping that person, and you're just not educated in a holistic sense. And what's the sense of getting money over everything when you pretty much will fly or have someone fly you to Dubai and you are getting paid, let's say $60,000, $70,000 for these sheiks to shit on you. Like
Yeah.
literally shit on you. But that's another topic of discussion. That could be part two of normalize a perversion. We didn't even talk about that, right?
That's true.
So, I don't want to hear about this old black excellence because Diddy says so. Yo, we got a lot of black failure that we need to address. And 9 times out of 10, your people are living in black failure, not black excellence. So stop trying to, down folks and talking about I'm black excellence and you are like one incident away from being homeless.
Yeah. That's right. I mean, because, like, we just have a bunch of people out here right now that think because they've got their Coon certificate that they can't be touched or, further educated. And, that also, like, puts them out of the loop of humanity or humility. And you can't just go around, like, downing people because you got yours. How many people had to help you?
Facts. Exactly. Exactly. You have too many people mirroring black celebrity and not understanding like black celebrity, they're barely holding on as well. Like don't let, the Jays and the Bays and whoever else like, fool you. I'm like, your favorite hip hop artist probably got working 9 to 5 job.
Yeah. Let's go on to the next part of this.
Yes.
Do we actually love our blackness?
Hmm.
I think we're learning.
I think we're learning. Okay, let's back up. What is blackness? Like, is blackness, do you have to have natural hair, not wear makeup, not have your nails done, have your face beat? Let's talk about that. What is blackness? Is it more of a aesthetics? Is it an imagery? Is this symbolism? Like, what is blackness?
Well, for me, because I can only speak through my experience, is that blackness is being comfortable in your own skin in any environment.
Mm, I
And
like that.
that just is for me because you don't have to have this, that, and the third because the first thing you are is black, and that's the first thing the world's going to see. And it's, are you going to recoil from it, or are you just going to stand firm in your blackness?
That's true. That's true. Because, I like what you said. And, we have a lot of people who's performing in blackness. So when I mean performing in blackness, it's like, hey, I'm only going to, make this soul music because I know this is what's in and I'm going to get money from it. And you have a lot of white folks who perform in blackness. Like y'all me and Justin Timberlake.
I was
He
just about
performing
to say
do perform in blackness and be like, oh, you know what? I'm out. I'm gonna go, make my money doing this white ass movie, or doing something like hella white, right?
yeah,
And we have people like him. Then we have what's y'all girl? Because people was really having a hard time with homegirl having this going through a divorce. Adele, right?
yeah.
My God, Adele. Oh, look at her. She's so soulful. Because you got this new. I don't know if you guys know. It's this new genre of music called Blue Eye Soul. Don't believe me.
Nah, that's been a while for around for a while. That was started with Elvis.
Right. Go do your Googles on that. And so y'all are like, oh my God, Adele. But then you got someone who's truly in their blackness. And I love her music. Jasmine Sullivan. Straight up Philly. Her voice is like amazing. But we're like, child, she big. She big and black, cause we love, oh, she big and she black. To the point, the child, I don't, she had, did you see her recent weight loss
Uh,
transformation? She lost like, I think over 100 pounds.
oh wow.
Um, and we don't appreciate you. You have to fit this aesthetic. So that's why I say is blackness this aesthetics. And like once you look this certain way, then it's like, yo, I love that blackness. You know, I just like love how it looked. But for me, like you said, it's environmental, it's being who you are. Why can't we truly be who we are? Why do our, the ones who have like these amazing voices, they have to be less quote unquote hood? That's part of blackness.
It's true. And if you look, like, especially in the past, let's say 5 years, the quote unquote soul singers who are getting any kind of play are either white or they're racially ambiguous.
Correct.
Like, they'll listen to a black man sing all day. That's that's good for them. But for a black woman to get any kind of leeway in a record industry, if she doesn't want to just, sing covers in coffee houses, she's gonna have to probably be racially ambiguous, white, or in a interracial relationship.
Mm, that's true. That's very true.
And that's just where I am on that.
Yeah. So, I just think for me, I love my blackness, not just how I look, but just even how I can advocate for other black folks and, just the work that I do with my black students. Um, and that goes beyond HBCUs. It goes beyond, just this whole like education piece. It's just like because I know where we are as a people, and it's like me doing the work that I do, me just even who I surround myself with doing this podcast. You have to be, you know, fully unapologetically black to do the podcast that we do because we talk about some difficult conversations in which the average quote unquote what you call it the coon certificate folk even if they went to an HBCU wouldn't have this podcast. So you have to be very unadulterated when you're black. And I will always tell people this. I'm like, listen, I couldn't run for my blackness if I wanted to because my parents, my kin folks wouldn't allow that. They wouldn't allow that. So that's why I keep myself grounded and around the people who I, surround myself with. But, it's just some people, they just don't love their blackness because they haven't reached that point yet. And if they ever do, cool. But a lot of times, we only want to love folks who are quote unquote black. And I'm noticing it. They have to be mainstream or, like you said, they got to be racially ambiguous. And then you're like, oh, I think they're black because they got some tightly coiled hair. Really?
Look at her lips. She's got to be black somewhere, probably her great grandma.
Right. Like, what's her name? Angelina Jolie. She gotta have some black in her because look at her lips. I'm like, child, if y'all don't get out my
If
face.
y'all if y'all really look at her, that hoe is pushing her lips out like that.
Yes.
With her non-acting self.
Yes. So, like y'all have to figure out how do you unapologetically love your blackness because guess what? Like I always mention on every episode, these white folks, they studying your blackness. Oh, and they want to be us. They don't want our pain. They don't want our story. But they want that aesthetics, honey.
Yes,
They be
they do.
looking like, you so beautiful. And they just be staring at you. Then I be staring at them like, yeah, they over there, taking, oh, how she get her lips? I'm probably taking a picture of her on the slide and going to Dr. Miami and gonna get them lips that she got. So
It's funny because it's true.
it's so true. Oh, and I wanted to mention this one person. I wanted to see how you feel about two folks. Cause we didn't mention them. Your boy T.I. and Killer Mike.
Ti, to me, I have no problems with Ti. I love that brother. Killer Mike. I don't know, man. That documentary thing he had was kind of cringy. And it's like I see so many people like on my Facebook, like when it was at the height of its popularity, I saw so many people on my Facebook that I went to college with, and I'm just sitting up here like, y'all niggas cannot be this serious. Y'all, wow, this is eye opening. Like, insert it whatever name. We were sitting in Dr. Horton's sociology class together. And so it's like, bruh, come on.
But you know what? And that's how. Oh yeah. So just a little like side note. That's kind of how Nan and I kind of like solidified. Like, yo, you want to do this podcast? Did you see this shit on your timeline too? Yeah, we need to do this podcast. And cause Killer Mike doing some nigga shit, and we was just not feeling it. We were just going in on Twitter. I remember that. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
I mean, he
are
was.
y'all really watching this? Cause I couldn't get past episode, what was it, 2 or 3?
You watch more than me because it was just like, oh my god. It was
He
some
did,
real soft shoeing.
yes. And he did some nigga shit. I was like, okay. And then, everyone's like, well, did he go to Morehouse or something? Well, he went to Morehouse. And I say, listen, if y'all don't know the history of Morehouse and how it's like such a black avant-garde,
Mm-hmm.
Black Ivy school, That doesn't mean he's just militant, like, yes, and we're out here. Now, I do agree. I do like what he said about public school. He gonna send his kids to public school because he pay his taxes. I was like, yes, brother, because I'm on that tip when I have my kids because they're gonna see me every day. Like, I pay taxes. They were like, I'm so sick of Dre coming up to this school. I did agree with him because he went off on DJ Envy on the Breakfast Club. I like rock with him when he talked about the education piece, but that documentary or docuseries, I was like, hold on, bro. Then when he was rolling the blunt with his wife, and he's like, yeah, we need to be doing. I was like, really? Really, we having a history discussion over you rolling a blunt and how you need to find a good black weed person because the
Can't
white
see.
dude be selling you the fire, but you need to support your own, and then you just kind of lowered our standards to
The
like.
thing is with stuff like that, like the white supremacists love to see that shit because that just gives them, ammunition to say, oh well, niggas don't really want nothing. They talk a good game, but see, all they really want is a good blunt, loose shoes and tight pussy.
Mm.
You know, like so when it comes to stuff like that, that really sets us back. No matter how many steps forward we have seemed to take.
All right.
And I don't know. It was just a very uncomfortable thing to watch.
Yes, that's a good description. It was very uncomfortable to watch. So that's y'all me and Killer Mike. If y'all want to watch it, don't say we suggested it. Watch it
Right.
on your own time. Now, since you said a good point, and I want to segue to this, and it's not on our outline, but it's talking about loving our blackness, and then we was gonna talk about watering down our blackness.
Yeah.
This whole incident of that high school in Houston making that policy on dress code. People are very upset because they said the policy is anti-black and it's black respectability policy. Me, y'all can cuss me out. I think it's not. I think you should have some type of decorum when you go to your child's school. You shouldn't be having and y'all can go on my Facebook chat. I be talking about bonnets. Please do not. Oh, okay. Anyways, you need
The
to have some
thing
type of decorum. So
with
let's
me,
talk about that.
no, but like with me, my mother always had clothes on when she took me to school. So, I don't understand the big deal how that's quote unquote anti-black, you know?
Have you seen those comments though, like anti-black and like Ebony said it was anti-black and it was black respectability politics?
Ebony is owned by white people, so why would white people care? They see black people in their Cookie Monster pajama bottoms and their bonnets and their dirty flip flops at Walmart every day. So that's
Facts.
what it's like, seeing stuff like that. If you go on white supremacists like message boards and stuff like that, you'll see how they talk. They like seeing that shit, and they like to take slide pictures of people and then post "we was kangs" or "we was quains," stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, yeah, if you want to sit up here and say you was a king and a queen, carry yourself as such.
I would do the hand clap. Yes. Yes, honey. People was coming at me yesterday. I don't care because like I said to somebody, I'm like, listen, you can debate yourself. I said what I say. I was like, because if your ass want to go to your child school with a bonnet, you go right ahead. But no, I don't want to see you with a bonnet because the chick, they showed the parent who they had to, reprimand. The chick had on, first of all, a Marilyn Monroe t-shirt. It didn't even look like a bonnet. It looked like a straight towel that she turned into a bonnet. I don't think she had any pants or shorts on. She had just a t-shirt. Hopefully she had underwears on with this raggedy towel turned into a bonnet. So you mean to tell me that because people call it out and say, hey, can you have some type of decorum? And like, it takes the same effort to me, right? To put
Yeah.
on clothes. You don't have to wear a three-piece suit. Get you some jeans on. Okay, if you want to wear your t-shirt and take off the bonnet, put you a head wrap on, a nice head wrap. You talking
Mm-hmm.
about oh, the principal, she got money to get her hair did. This is what the this is what the parent was saying, to get her hair did. We don't got money like that. Okay, I understand that, but just because you are poor doesn't mean you can show up and show out any kind of way. I'm like, my parents grew up in poverty, like real poverty, in which, let's see, my mom probably had like 2 or 3 dresses to wear to school, and they were sharecroppers. Guess what they did? They washed them clothes every day and make sure they look clean. They was groomed, like it was new clothing every day. And y'all out here talking about, oh, I can wear whatever I want to wear to my child's school. At least I'm showing up. But you need, what about standards? I think as black people sometimes we forget our standards. Like we supposed to be kings and queens, like you said. Why can't we not conduct ourselves as that? Why are we just having no standards? And then this, when we let people disrespect us, dishonor us, you want to respect and honor yourself. And if you just like, I'm going to show up to my baby school any kind of way, and you cussing out the principal and the teacher with your Marilyn Monroe shirt on and your bonnet, yeah, I'm gonna write a policy too. Like, yo, you can't come up in my school like this.
It makes sense to me. Like I said, like my mother always had on clothes when she was taking me to school, so I don't know.
Yeah, so I just have to like talk about that. Ugh. So y'all coming on my page, child. I already told y'all. I said what I say. I've been saying this. If you new to the page, then you go through my tweets or whatever. Anyways, last topic. Are we watering down our blackness for white acceptance?
Yes. Look at old girl you mentioned earlier.
Listen, that really bothered me, y'all. Like that really bothered me. Oh, and then she kept mentioning how she was light skinned and how the rest of us who are brown skinned don't understand what light skinned folks have to go through. Like we was just this whole separate race, right?
Yeah.
And I was just looking at her like, okay, but you telling us that you use your light skin privilege, but not really, because you still have to throw the wig on your head, but you still want us to have white acceptance. Like it was just so confusing, and I'm like, I'm not doing anything that you tell. First of all, you not saying age is like whatever. I'm like, I got 13 more years in the game than you do, and I told her that, and I'm all like, I done witnessed white supremacy. I done been through it all. And I'm like, you was telling your story about being, dealing with racism, but all of a sudden you want us to befriend white folks. Which one is it? Oh, yeah, because we need to teach them how not to be racist. Child, you can talk to you blue in the face. And I don't need to be accepted by white people. That's what I told her. And she was all like, what? I said, I don't. I said, I don't need to be accepted by no white person.
Mm-mm. And a lot of us still look on that proverbial pat on the head from white mama and white daddy. So of course we're gonna sit up here and say, well, if we just can teach white people about us, everything will get better. But why do we always have to be the teacher? And like I've posed this question to, certain people, like why do we always have to be the teachers of humanity? We've
And what
taught
did
them
they
too much.
say?
No, I was like, we've taught them too much. That's why they use what we taught them against us.
Hmm.
Like they were literally on their hands and knees in the cave, and somebody came and stood them up, and that's the worst thing that we ever did.
Yeah. I mean, we taught them about hygiene and grooming and mathematics, and
Mhm.
then look at us now. Like, look now, but we still want to be accepted so bad. Like, we just have to be accepted, and like it's just awful to see people change their whole dialect. They talking to you like, "Yeah, what's up, girl?" Da 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 da. Then they get around Becky over here, and they're like, yes, and you're like, hold, what? You changed your whole, what they call it, code switching?
Code
Which I
switching was tiring.
do you code switch? Do you
No,
participate in that?
no,
Look at you see me. Do you participate?
no. I don't. You know what? At a point, yeah, I did. But then, I just got tired, so I said, fuck it.
And you know what? I'm gonna be honest. You know, we have to be honest on the show. I didn't know what code switching was until a former friend, yes, we'll talk about that later, was like, I have to code switch, don't you, Dre? And I'm like, what? And like she told me what she do because she works at this big, D1 university.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I don't do that. Well, you can't be talking in your dialect, to these white. And then she be like, oh, and these, I can't stand these white folks, but be the main ones at they functions, like, yes, and I'm having a cocktail with them. I'm like, you are so confused. So I never processed. I didn't even know what it was until, no lie, y'all. Like probably when I went to grad school, and we're talking about 10 years. And people been doing this their whole entire life. And I'm like, I never even heard the term.
Really? Like, I had learned what the term was, I want to say, maybe a couple years ago. And then, I just gotten to the point where I was just like, man, I ain't doing this shit no more. Fuck y'all.
Right.
And,
It, like you said, it's
it,
tiring.
it came from being the token black person in my surrounding at my employment. And, being the token or only black person in your direct working environment goes one of two ways. You're either sitting up there doing white folk shit, or you like, man, if these crackers don't get away from me.
Yes.
And I have become the latter.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like, man, they don't call you for nothing. They don't text you for nothing. So, hey, I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna get my coins. But hey, don't be calling me to hang out, cause I'm not.
Exactly. And being the token, or the only one at your job, it is lonely, but you have to hang in there and find your outside people,
Mhm.
you know, um, because you can't tell them anything. Because then you're going to find yourself wanting to be accepted, and then you're doing the code switching. And matter of fact, it's a book called, I remember buying the book, it's called Switching, How to Be an African American Woman Surviving in the White World.
Oh my God.
And I remember like reading a few pages, and I said, "Yo, I'm not doing this." Like, I'm just like a rebel with a cause. I don't know if that's being the youngest and having like a whole lot of space between myself and my brother. I'm like, "Yo, I'm not doing this." Like, I already live in like an all white. This is when I was growing up, living in an all Irish, predominantly city. I'm not doing this. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to be like, well, I'm talking like this because I think I'm going to get accepted. Child, you still black. I don't care how you try to lower your voice or whatever the case is. They still going to perceive you as this angry black person. I'm not
Yeah.
doing this code switching. And if you don't have to accept me. I don't care. As long as you don't prevent me from my livelihood of making money and living a simple life, I don't care. Because guess what? I don't want to be your neighbor. I'll go live in the black neighborhood. I'm not trying to run out to live in the suburbs, but I don't know how y'all do it. Like, if you do code switching, like, please, like, comment. No lie, like, comment and tell us how are you doing it for survival? Like, please, because I know that has to be tiring.
It is. Like, I can speak as somebody who did at one point. It is so tiring. And, like, a lot of people do it because they're lonely and they want somebody to talk to at work. And it's like, well, let me go download a couple of these little cracker songs so I can listen to them so we got something to talk about.
Mm-mm.
And it's just like, I was so tired, like, and just being surrounded by whiteness is tiring because, like, they just, I don't know what it is. Maybe they like some kind of spiritual vampire, and they just can't, and they just draw energy off of a black person.
I think that's what it is. I mean, and it's very tiring. And it's also very tiring when they have their tools, such as, black folks who, you
Hmm.
know, um, who performing blackface, but they actually to a white supremacy, and it's tiring to trying to explain to them certain things too, because they feel like you should be educating them because I don't understand what you mean. What do you mean about blackness? Because I don't look at what I know you put this tweet up the other day. I'm human.
I'm not.
What?
I'm human.
And you're like, okay, who told you that term? I was like, because a lot of them don't think we're humans.
Mhm.
Go ask your grandma. Go ask your mama. If she's like, I don't want to say 30 something. That's like your mama and them. That's like 50 plus. Go ask them.
Oh, cause they'll tell you.
Yeah, they're gonna tell you, and then they're gonna be like, "What's this code switching, child? And plus, I never seen it demonstrated in my house neither, because once again, like, my parents, I lived in a mainly, all black neighborhood. You do have those in Boston, yes. But I didn't see my parents do that. Like, they didn't exhibit that type of behavior. And they always told, my siblings and I, like, be who you are. Like, you don't have to be code switching, and then people can't accept you. When I'm talking about people, now I'm talking about black folks. If they can't accept you for who you are because of the way that you talk, whatever the case is, like, I don't need to rock with you.
Exactly. And before we get up out of here, let's go on our tangent about Gary Owen. Massa Gary.
Lord, I'm so sick of him. I'm so sick of him, y'all. Okay, let's talk about that video. What was up with that? I think I retweeted that video with him and the wife had these glasses on. Wasn't the dog in the room?
He kissing on the dog.
Y'all, go ahead. Go in.
And I mean, it was just the most cringe-worthy thing ever. And people sitting up here, well, Gary got black kids. Gary got black. Why? Gary can't be racist.
I'm so sick of that too.
It's like, how many slave masters had a black wife? Excuse me, black children and a black bed wench that he couldn't stay from out of inside.
Thank you. And he was whooping them slaves' asses every moment he can get.
Exactly. So what does that mean? Sexual access to between black and white people has nothing to do with the system of white supremacy. White people have always had sexual access to black people.
Yes.
It's just now they can, broadcast it publicly. Because before that, like, that was a shameful thing. Like, in the hood where I grew up, if you were a biracial person, if you had a black mother and you lived in the hood, that probably means your mama was smoking. You're a trick baby.
Right.
You know? And when you see a mixed race person, this isn't for all people, but for a good portion, if you see a mixed race person in the hood and they have a black mother, they were probably smoking crack at some point and had a white trick who knocked them up and skeeted. But if you see a biracial person in the hood with a white mother, they're probably coming, they're probably coming from a trailer park and they just got moved into the hood because they were sitting up there sleeping with Tyrone.
Mm-hmm.
That's how
Right.
shit works. So,
Exactly. Remember I was telling you the story of a friend of mine, she's actually biracial. Her mom is black and, is a recovering addict. Dad is white. The
hmm
dad straight up told her, "You're not white. You're black. And I don't want anything to do with you anymore." And I remember we was because we was in this black artist executive boot camp together, and she told that story like everybody was no one, it was no dry eye in there. And usually I'm pretty like good, like I'm pretty stoic. I was like, damn. And she's like, that's why I do not like white folks. That's why I don't surround myself with them. And I just felt so bad for her. But you have those cases in which, like we see and we talk about these biracial children, because I see them here where I live at. They with their white mama, grandmama, granddaddy, auntie, because they're like, I'm gonna racially divide you. You don't have a black family. Who? What's that? Who? Tyrone? That ain't your daddy.
Exactly. And we're gonna do a show about racial isolation.
Yes.
We're definitely gonna do that show, but
But y'all,
it,
going back to Gary.
yeah. But Gary Owen is just a prime example of a racist because a lot of his stuff, it's rooted in his desire to say nigga or nigger, and he's just like, ooh, I wish I could say it. Because if you watch that video, it came out about a year ago when I first canceled his ass. Not that I fucked with him before, but like he was sitting up there using his black bedwench wife, and if you listen, why do bedwenches always talk like Minnie Mouse? But
See?
anyway. but but like he was sitting up there saying you bitch ass, and here she come, nigga.
See?
Like, girl, it's like, and he's just sitting up there. Oh, I wish I could say that. Like that was getting him fucking hard, you know?
Exactly. His penis did get hard, and then is once again he used his wife as a tool of white supremacy. And see, y'all be thinking, oh, because they swirling, and he's down with the brown. Nah, he out here straight on a racist tangent. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna have my wife say nigga, 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 and all this other mess. So.
Yeah.
Yep, y'all should cancel Gary though.
That was not okay on a couple different levels because that's exploitation, and he's just sitting up there, his dick hard, he rubbing that dog, smiling. You motherfucking nigga.
Right. Exactly.
Saying that shit.
Yeah, cancel Gary. Y'all go ahead and cancel your mans.
Crazy, man. That's not okay.
No, it's not. And if y'all think it's okay, y'all got some issues in your heart. But yes, man, what a show. Like, as always, it was a dope show. I truly appreciate it.
Yeah.
Any last words, thoughts, quotes, anything?
Let's see. Head on a swivel.
Keep it on a swivel. My last thing to say is, it's nothing wrong with being unapologetically black. If you find yourself on that, straddling the fence, like, is black good enough? Tap into some readings, surround yourself with some honest, unapologetic black folks, and don't run away from blackness, because you're gonna find yourself having the nigga wake up call.
Yeah, because they handing them out left and right now.
Yes, just go look on your media, go do your Googles, and you'll see. But as always, thank you all for listening to the Urban Social Sciences. Please don't forget to like us on Facebook. Don't forget to subscribe to us on Google Play, SoundCloud, and also Spotify. Much love and light to the Us Tribe, Audi 5000. Peace.
Later days.
And we out.